Matt Dinatale.
That is me.
Welcome to Bull Ant TV.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It's been a long time coming.
It has.
We were going to do this about 12 months ago and you were very busy.
Very busy, but appreciate it. Thanks for having me. It's really good.
It's a pleasure. Matt, you've been down the club a long time, plus 20 years. When did you start?
Probably early 2000, I think, early 2001 for a couple of years.
Yes.
And played... I think I might have played a couple of games and then got roped in to play a couple of seasons and then took off and played footy again. I enjoyed my footy.
Yep. Who did you play with?
West Heidelberg,
right.
At that stage in the Diamond Valley.
Yep.
Now it's the Northern Footy League. Did have a year down here at the Bull Ants.
Right.
Played Resies
right.
for the Northern Bull Ants.
Right.
Or Northern Knights back then.
Yep.
And then retired from footy. I think early sort of mid 2000s. I think it might have been 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
I think I retired from footy. Decided to retire. I'm not too sure why they say retire because I've gone back a few more times after that. And come down to Preston.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which has been good.
And you've been back since what, about 2008?
2008. 2008. I think my first game was November 2008.
Yep.
After the Melbourne Cup weekend, so pretty close to this time 17 years ago, mate, in that respect. So, so come back in 2008 and unfortunately injured myself from footy and then couldn't play until sort of Melbourne Cup weekend, I think it might have been, as my first game.
Yep. And since then, and over both periods actually, you've amassed quite a record. When I was looking at it during the course of the day as part of my research, it was quite amazing, really. 3 premierships.
Two premierships. Yep. Yeah. Couple of losses in finals, grand finals as well. Yes. So 2 flags. Yes.
Yep. 2 MVPs.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
A heap of bowling averages and a heap of batting averages.
Yes.
You hold the record for the 6th and 7th wicket partnership in the fourths.
Yes, with Matt Charavello.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who was the other one?
Wicket partnership.
Yes.
That would have been out here, I think it might have been, with Marshall... Adam Jacklin. Oh, Adam Jacklin. Okay, I did have a run partnership out here with Marshall Worthington as well.
Yeah.
As well. So that was 100 something run partnership. I think it might have been.
Right.
Yeah.
So one was 167, another one was 122 run partnership, which is quite amazing.
Yep.
You've made a couple of centuries.
I think I made 3.
3?
I think it is. I think I made 3. Yes.
A very famous one of 161.
Yes.
First game of the season.
Yes, that was the record partnership, as you mentioned before. 161 against Williamstown.
Yes.
Probably out about 5 times in that game. But you take your chances, as they say. It's So that was an interesting game. I think I got dropped and probably should have been run out like twice and all that type of stuff. But as they say, you take your chances and you make your runs. Yes,
that's it.
Yep.
In addition, you were awarded life membership last year.
Fantastic. Really proud of that achievement.
Which is unbelievable. And you're still going.
Still going, yes. I don't know if the body tells me I'm still going, but the mind says I can still go. So, really happy that I can continue playing.
Yep. And you're still very competitive playing in the thirds. Very competitive, both with bat and ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's look back over all of that journey, plus 200 games. I haven't got the exact number, but I'm pretty sure you've gone past 200.
Okay.
Which is...
that's awesome.
Which is an amazing performance.
Yep.
You've played with a lot of people over that journey.
Yep.
Tell me, who had the most influence on you through that period?
Oh, influence. Probably when I first come down, Darren Oliver was actually my boss at work.
Right.
And got myself and Sean down to the club.
Yeah.
Probably early 2000s. And I think he was skipper of the twos at that stage. He might have played a bit of ones. And he was skipper of the twos. And he sort of said, come down and, if you're not doing anything over the summer, come down and have a bit of a hit. So as a boss at work, and of course probably, one of the, leaders of the club down here, sort of he had a bit of influence in that respect. A lot of the coaches, of course, Hobbs and Doggy Brown and of course, most recently, Alex Lewis, you know what I mean? So you take a lot of value out of those guys, considering they've been around cricket. And I never played cricket as a junior.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If I did, it was only a bit of muck around sort of cricket. I played for a couple of years at a club, but it wasn't sort of anything serious, just to sort of have a bit of a hit when I was young, as a junior. And then, like I said, the footy took over.
Right.
So for me, playing cricket was more just a bit of a social hit. And then, so you sort of come down to, Preston subbies, you're playing the second best cricket in the state, and all of a sudden you've got these elite players in front of you, so you're just a bit of an awe with these type of guys. Kevin Lowe, of course, Stuart Hensley back in those days, Shane Day, all those guys have just played top cricket over many years, and you sort of look at those guys and you go, they're the pinnacle of what the club's all about.
So clearly, when you haven't played as a youngster, you've developed your cricket here as sort of an adult, really.
Yeah. I mean, apart from playing a bit of park cricket and sort of cricket in the street, you sort of come down to a club and they sort of teach you a couple of things, and you think, I can bat and I can bowl, so I think I'll go all right. So, but clearly there's a lot of things to learn. Plans and bowling and how to bat in certain areas or how to bat at certain times, I should say, of the day. 1 day is 2 days. Of course, now 2020s have come into the competition, so a lot of things have changed, and of course, you sort of had to adapt with that. I mean, juniors now, they're playing 50 games a year with Friday nights and Saturday mornings and senior cricket, all that type of stuff. So I missed out on that. So coming from a non-cricket background, I guess, I think I've grabbed the ball by the horns, as they say, and ran with it.
Well, you've developed a lot of skill, because as a bowler, you do a bit with the ball. You're sort of medium pace.
Yes.
But you niggle away there and you just pick up wickets regularly.
Yeah, I think the Chris Park wicket helps a bit. I think if you look at all the stats for the home and away, over the home and away, I think I get most of the wickets at Chris Park. So, look, it's just one of those things. I just, have that knack, I guess, in that respect, just putting in the right spots and hopefully the ball does the job. Yes,
and batting-wise, you've got quite an orthodox technique, which is quite amazing for somebody who didn't learn until into your adults.
Yeah, correct. I mean, I sort of, like I said, you pick up the bat when you're younger and you just sort of play in the, play park cricket, or you sort of play it in the street with your mates and all that sort of stuff. And then you come down here and sort of people are trying to, tilt your head this way and get your shoulder straight and do this and do that, and you sort of feel like very unco, trying to do it, but considering you haven't learnt from a junior point of view, you're learning now. So I sort of that's why I took a lot on board with the likes of Darren and Doggy and especially Lowy and Hobbs and all that type of stuff. Those guys they've played umpteen games of cricket and the highest level as well, you know what I mean? So you sort of take a lot of their coaching on board.
Yeah, and you've been captain of many sides over the journey.
I have. I've been privileged enough to captain the twos, threes, and the fours over my journey. So I sort of fell into the twos role in respect to captaining the twos. Wasn't expecting the captain, so I got sort of asked to captain. It was a young side back then. I think it might have been early 15, 16. I think it might have been. Very young side, a lot of kids in the side. Didn't win many games. Well, I think we didn't win a game before Christmas, actually. And then I think we come home with a flurry at the end of the year. Missed finals, but a great experience, especially captaining the twos, playing out here most games, and of course, playing against some elite players in the twos as well.
Who are some of the talented players you've seen come through your teams over the years who've gone on and done pretty well?
In my teams.
Kyle Walsh. wouldn't he?
Yeah, Kyle Walsh started in the lower grades, and of course now he's picked up into he's consistently playing in the ones. Well, I mean, for example, Matt Chiravello, he was a really good player. Not playing cricket anymore, but I mean, he was one of those guys you could just see had the talent. Adam Jacklin. Yes. AJ started in the fours as a young spinner with abundance of talent. More talent in his little finger than I have in my whole body, type thing. And it took him a while to progress through up the order and all that type of stuff with batting and bowling, and of course then moved up with the threes and the twos, and of course then played ones. Yep. So probably recently, Adam, I guess, in that respect, Adam Jacklin. Yep.
Daniel Dodonna as well would have played under.
Might have. Yeah, I can't remember exactly if Panda did play, but if he did, clearly he's another one still at the club. Yep. I mean, Nath Barry as well. I mean, clearly, he's been a consistent, player in the threes, and of course fours and the threes. Had his opportunities in the twos as well. So I mean, as another older player, didn't start as a junior. Started when he was probably mid-20s, I guess, or early 20s. Yep. So he's hasn't played ones yet, but no doubt, hopefully in the next couple of years, if he can continue keeping and doing what he's doing, he might get in that get that one spot. Yeah,
and looking back, two premierships clearly are major highlights.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about both of those games.
Both those games, 2010-11 in the fours, playing at Chris Park against Plenty Valley. Yep. I think we had a really good season, actually. We played Coburg in the first final at Coburg's ground. Back then it was only top four. Yep. So I think we played Coburg and we knocked them off. I had... the threes and the fours were actually in the finals that year, and I had Sean in the side. Bowled the house down against Coburg, got a great run out. I think he took the first wicket actually, or got a run out and all that sort of stuff. And then the following week, Benny Ryan was coaching back then, and the following week the threes lost their final. And Brian Flanagan, or Buff as we called him, qualified for the fours. Right. And I was tossing up between whether Buff comes in and H comes out, all that sort of stuff. And Ben Ryan actually rang H on his birthday a couple of days before the final and said, H, you've been dropped for the game. And he's turned around and said, well, thanks for the birthday present, mate. You know what I mean? All that sort of stuff. So that was a bit of a highlight prior to the grand final. So Buffer played. We made 160. Wacker.
Yep. Made 47 or something.
Yeah. Put on a 60-run partnership. Got us to the 160 mark. We were 9 down for 90.
Edit this out, Lee.
we were 9 down for 90 or 9 down for 95 in a world of pain, basically. And then, Wacker and Buffer comes in the end. I think they put on a 60-odd run partnership, get us to 160 plus, 163, 165. So we're feeling good going into day two, of course, being a two-day for the finals. They were cruising. They were 4 for 86 at drinks. We rolled them for 120.
Wow.
So we took 6 for 40 after drinks.
Fantastic.
So highlight, I think Buffer bowled, took 3 for, I think he bowled like 20 overs. So he was pretty much, I guess with him and Wacker right at the end, they were man of the match. So Benny Ryan's decision to drop H was probably actually a good one, I guess, in that respect. He didn't see it at the time, the big fella. He didn't see it at the time. He always brings it up. Always brought it up when if blokes ever got dropped for a game, he goes, remember, I got dropped for the grand final.
And what about the other one?
18-19, we're out here playing Werribee, leading into the finals, so six-team final. Yep. So we played Hoppers first game, smashed them. They only made 40, I think. So cruised through that game. They didn't come back for the second day. They said, no, we're not coming back, basically.
Flew the flag.
Said, no, we're done. So that was actually quite... that was a really astonishing game. It was amazing because we played Hoppers the week before in the last game of the season. So we thought we knew what they were like. I think they made about 120. We won the game quite easy. in the end. So leading into the first final, we thought, they're going to bring their A game. Didn't happen. We rolled them for 40, and that was it. Then the following week we played Yarraville. Out at Yarraville, we weren't allowed to play because we had a couple of games because we had a couple of teams in the finals. We couldn't play at home, so we had to play away. So I played at Yarraville. We made 140. Nath made 71, or roughly 70, give or take. I think we were in trouble. I think we were 2 for 10. And then Walsh and Nath put on about 80 runs, got us to about 100. We made 140 in, so we sort of fell apart at the end.
Yep.
Had them 2 for 3 for overnight, and rolled them for 70. Basically, I think 75.
Wow.
So yeah, so in a sense, was actually quite an easy win. But only making 140 is sort of in a final. You're still sort of on that, can we still win the game?
Yep.
And then the following week we played Werribee out here.
Okay.
Similar thing. They won the toss. They batted. I think they made 135. And then we come out and made the runs quite easy in the end.
Right.
I think still with about 30 overs to go. I think it might have been. And Dylan Pote took man of the match and made a lazy 61 not out to guide us home. So. And I'm a little bit disappointed he didn't sort of continue on his cricket career because he's such a good player. He was probably one of those guys you could sort of see moving up the ranks. In the twos, and of course then playing ones. So,
incredible highlights, aren't they?
They are. You sort of you reminisce and you sort of talk about him, and you forget about it, and you sort of go back and you look through it, and you sort of see because clearly some of the stuff you forget, catches, or you might forget about a drop catch or this and all that sort of stuff. But they're really great, and clearly you're never going to play with the same blokes the following year. So whether you're playing the ones or whether you're playing in the fours, grand finals are grand finals. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're wins. They're great wins.
An amazing career. You've been involved in the insurance industry for 25 years or thereabouts.
Yep.
Recruited by D. Oliver, who played in a team that I captained a long time ago, so I know Darren pretty well. That's where you met Sean?
No, I went to high school together.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, went to high school together with a great man.
Okay.
So
lifelong friends.
Then we worked together.
Yes.
Yes, under DO, under Darren. I got him into the insurance, so he probably hates me for that, but I got him into I got him into the insurance work cover back in probably 97, 98, I think it might have been. Yeah. And of course then Darren was the boss back then, and of course early 2000s we were down playing cricket. So
amazing. So lifelong friends with Sean. Sadly missed.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Won't be forgotten around this place for a long time, and certainly won't be forgotten in your heart. Tell me about your life outside of cricket. You've got a couple of lads.
Yeah, a couple of boys. Grew up, Resville. Grew up in Reza. Went to high school, like I said, with Sean and started working together. Got 2 boys, 19 and 15. Joshua's 19 and Jordan's 15. So Joshua's now working. Well, hopefully he's landed an apprenticeship, electrician, which is great. Right. And Jordan's nearly finishing year 9.
Okay.
For this year.
Yep. Yeah. They play sport?
The boys play basketball footy. Joshua plays basketball footy. Yep. Jordan's more into his basketball now. Yep. If I can get him off the PlayStation. So that's always good to drag him by the ears and get him out on the but it's good though. The last couple of years he's actually been playing a bit of basketball, which is really great. So plays it at school, so got him into a team and loves it. Which is great. Yeah.
Now we're at 2024-25. You've been in the threes the last 2 rounds and performed well. Yep. We look as though we've got good strength, good depth throughout the club. So
absolutely, this year's been great. A good season
looks ahead. How have you found things?
Different this year. I mean, clearly it's a little bit different with different captains and different coaches, of course, this year. So. pre-season was a bit different, only training for a short period of time in regards to instead of actually training over longer periods. So that was good. I guess, time will tell in regards to injuries and other bits and pieces with not only myself, of course, but with the rest of the guys. But it's been good. Change is good. You know what I mean? You always got to mix things up, keep blokes on their toes, and make sure they. I think we're heading in the right direction.
There's a bit of energy about, isn't there? It
is. Well, I mean, every time wins always create that, as you know, Lee, in that respect. Whether it's finals or even just playing in wins every week. You know what I mean? When you don't win, people get disheartened, get disappointed, and they want to, and blokes want to perform. So, there's real buzz around. So far, so good, I guess, in that respect. You know what I mean? And I can see the club. Pre-season when you got 50 blokes, 55, 60 players coming down, having it, wanting to really play and then put their foot forward, it's actually been quite good.
Fantastic. And obviously Preston means a hell of a lot to you, seeing you've spent probably about half your life here.
I guess you sort of get part of the furniture, in a sense, you know what I mean? As you go on, I've never been a life member of any club. I've played a lot of footy and chopped and chained clubs. So, getting close to, after 10 years, 11 years, you think, I'll just hang around for another one, then hang around for another one, hang around for another one. And honestly, mate, to be honest, after H 2 years ago, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to play, didn't know if I wanted to be around the club. It's nothing against, of course, clearly nothing against the club and all that sort of stuff. It's just how I felt. And I've told a lot of people this. I didn't know how I'd feel walking back in the rooms, without him and, all that type of stuff. So to me, it was more the fact I've got to think, and if I didn't continue on, I think he'd be more shitty with instead of actually in me, for the fact because I've come that far and I wanted to achieve that life membership. One for me and of course one for him as well, because he was already a life member. And it never meant anything, I guess, to me as a life member. You think, it's only a life membership, but when you when you're close, you think this meant a lot more than just a piece of paper or just a trophy or just your name on the board and all that sort of stuff. It means a lot to the individual. That's meant for me in that respect. So so I kept coming back, mate, I guess, and of course you guys kept having me. So, and I enjoy it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be playing. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be coming down here wasting the club's time wanting me to get a game and all that sort of stuff. I like playing. I like a bit of white line fever. As soon as I get onto the ground, it's game on. You know what I mean? So, and the club does mean a lot. You know what I mean? With Dick and of course Gus and of course yourself, Lee, coming back after a number of years, and the rest of the Norris family, all been down here over the course of the years. All that type of stuff. And Gary Robinson and.
So many
other people that just, they're the heart and soul of the club. So for me, just chipping in and doing my little bit, whether it's being a captain or whether it's, helping out doing the dishes or, putting out cones or putting covers down, if I can do my bit, then that's what I'd like to
Mate, do. You're a great Preston man.
Thank you.
Full of energy. You're very positive, always happy, friendly.
Try to be.
And we're absolutely very proud of what you've achieved over the journey.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Appreciate it, mate.
Thank you very much. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks for having us.